Out of all the YouTube videos that get uploaded, some get attention, millions of views, and a high audience retention, and others, well, they don't. And it's not luck. It's knowing the secrets big YouTubers use to boost their attention, getting higher engagement, encouraging the YouTube algorithm to further push their content. A well-scripted YouTube video has 5 key elements that make it captivating, informative, and enjoyable to watch. And it has nothing to do with beginning, middle, or end style storytelling. And once I figured this out, my audience retention went through the roof, leading my videos to get way more views than before, and some of them reaching way up into the millions. If you plan or script any of your content, you must know this 5-step formula for creating YouTube video scripts. It doesn't matter how good your ideas are. If it's packaged badly, it's likely to underperform and just not be that great of a video. So here's the 5-step formula you can easily copy onto your own videos to make sure that they are packaged properly, giving them the highest chance of actually being seen. A large reason I was able to build this platform to 350,000 subscribers is because I followed this formula, allowing my videos to get hundreds of thousands of views, if not millions. Of course, this isn't meant to be that any video you apply this to is going to get hundreds of thousands of views, but it is going to put your video in the best standing position to have the potential to get recommended by YouTube's algorithm because of your audience retention being higher and YouTube recommending it to more people. As you can see, my channel was pretty flat for the first few years, even though I was uploading super consistently. Until right about here, when I started implementing this system into my videos. Even like this video I recently uploaded that is already in the hundreds of thousands of views and continuing to grow, used this exact script formula that I'm giving away to you guys for free. So let's dive into it with step 1, being thumbnail and title alignment. Having a thumbnail and title that align with the content in your video is crucial. Think about it like this. You've just written the best video ever, written by the YouTube gods themselves. Someone clicks on it and the video doesn't align with the title and thumbnail that you packaged it with. It's not what they were looking for. It's not what they thought they were getting, so they click off, making your retention bad right from the beginning. Not what we want. The first 10 seconds of your video needs to do a good job of reassuring the viewer who clicked on your title and thumbnail, deciding to spend their valuable time watching your video instead of the endless sea of other videos, that they made the right decision by doing that and that they're going to get what they were told that they were going to get. Or better yet, you can make them feel like they are going to get even more than what you promised them in that title and thumbnail. But it is absolutely crucial that the title and thumbnail align with what is actually inside of that content. So step 1 is creating a title and thumbnail for the idea that you have before you create that content. And once you have that title and thumbnail first, the content that you create and the way that you script the rest of your video can be in line with that title and thumbnail that convince someone to click on it, so that you are sure you are holding up your side of the bargain, or that invisible promise that you made to the viewer when you convinced them to click on that video. Step 2 is going to be the hook. The first bit of your video is likely to see the biggest drop off in your retention, and the majority of people that make it past that first little bit are likely to stay around for most of the rest of the video. But that retention drop normally happens within that very first part of the video, and the hook is a way for us to lift that initial drop off, and inevitably by lifting that, it will create the rest of your retention to be higher as well. If we can keep those viewers from clicking off right in the beginning, our whole retention bar is naturally going to go up as well. There's a couple of different ways you can do this, but one of my favorites is with a question hook. You can propose a question in the beginning of your video that aligns with your title and thumbnail, of course, teasing that the answer is going to be coming later on in the video. The other way to do this is with a statement, like my recent video I made about shooting vertical content, where you open your video by saying something maybe a little bit controversial or shocking that the viewer goes like, what? Okay, I need to see why this might be the case. So in my vertical video, I opened it by saying something like, this is why you should never shoot vertical content. Another one of my favorite hooks is to tease something that's coming later on in the video by putting it right up in the beginning of the video. So I do these 7 gimbal shot style videos, and right in the beginning, I'll open with some of the cinematic shots that are going to be shown at the end before I show you how I capture them. And then the first part of my talking, I'm going to mention that once I've shown you how I film all of these shots, I'm going to show you the end result once it's edited with music and all beautiful like, and you can see how well this looks if you look at this retention graph from one of my previous ones that performed really well. You can even see where I actually show the reveal at the end of the finished footage. Look at this huge bump in the retention graph. This bump, even it being at the end, means that my whole retention is going to go up for that video, giving it a much better chance of being recommended by the YouTube algorithm. Step 3 is going to be your extended intro. This is going to come after your hook. This is pretty interesting because the other steps don't really matter if you don't get this one right. We need to do 2 things here. We need to give proof of concept in the form of reassuring the viewer that any statements we're making are validified by some other source. Or we need to just crush any doubt that they might have that the ideas or questions that we're proposing are not true. It's up to you how you want to give yourself credibility in this scenario. You could do it by showing stats like I did in this video that reassure that this technique does actually work. I've shown you, now I've just crushed any doubt that you might have that it doesn't. Another way might be showing that big credible YouTubers are doing the exact same thing and how it's working for them, or just some sort of statement. We want to just reassure the viewer that what we are saying is worth their time and it's true. The title and thumbnail aligns with this, and the information that they're going to get is validated by some source that you choose to put behind it. The other thing we want to do is over-deliver. If we can over-deliver on whatever promise it was that we made to the viewer when we convinced them to click on that title and thumbnail, and they see that, they are much more inclined to keep watching and stick around because they're getting even more than they originally bargained for. This can be anything from bonus tips that you didn't even mention before, or just your tips that you are giving being so extremely valuable that it's blowing the people's minds that are watching. It can also be things like giving away free products or any other incentives that you didn't initially tell the viewers about, that now they feel like they're getting even more than they bargained for. Anything to exceed the viewers' expectations. Think of Mr. Beast. It's a video of blowing up a train, and then you click on it and he opens the video by going, actually we're blowing up 2 trains. Whoa, way more than you bargained for. Stick around, you need to see, because this is going to be way better than you even thought it might be. Step 4 is going to be content. So this is going to be like the actual value information part of your video. Whether it's a list video like this is going to be the points, which I do like that formula because it also incentivizes the viewer to keep watching, because as I give the first points, like this one being 5, the first one's good, second one's good, free extra value, more than they bargained for, or they better stay around for the next tips because they might get that little gold nugget. Even if they already know the first tips, they want to stay to hear the next tips because they might learn something that is going to change the way that they do things. It's obviously super important that your video's general overall idea or concept needs to be good. The tips that you are giving need to be good. I'll generally write out a script and really put a lot of effort into coming up with tips or techniques or behind the scenes, whatever it might be, but really putting effort into making them good. Not just the same thing everybody else is saying, not just repeating a bunch of things that other YouTubers have said or things that most people already know. I'll go the extra mile to put a lot of effort into coming up with those tips. I'll generally write them down in bullet point form into my script so that I can just read off of those bullet points, make sure I'm staying on script and to the point, but I can further elaborate on any one of those bullet points that I want to, and that's kind of just going to be the bulk of my video. Even like this one, the 5 tips, that's the bulk. I had the intro. I'm going to get to these other parts, very important parts later on, like the outro. But now we're just working through the content, the majority of that video. Step 5 is going to be your reward and outro. So check this out, because this is going to be super important to maintain the trust from your viewers. We need the payoff to our initial setups and hooks. So if you've been teasing something that's coming at the end of the video or way later down the line, this is where you give it all away, you give it up, and you reward that viewer for sticking around through this entire video to get to these payoffs and points. Remember, I mentioned that revealing the finished edit at the end of the video. This is where I would go, so that's how we captured the shots. Let's take a look at how they all look together when we've edited it all nice and whatever, and then I would show them that video. That's the reward, that's the payoff. They can see how it all works together, the thing they've been waiting for. The other point of this is to have a call to action, where you tell the viewer to do a specific thing, like watch another video, head down to the description and do something else. But there is one important piece of information that you should take note of when you do decide what your call to action will be. YouTube will reward people, channels that can keep viewers on their platform. So if you're ever redirecting people off of YouTube to another platform, maybe you're telling them to go and enroll in a course like my one, if you want to, it's amazing. Or go to check out your Instagram or check out a product. YouTube's gonna see that, and they're gonna see that you're directing people off of their platform. YouTube's main goal is to keep people on their platform so that they spend more time on there, they can show them more ads, they can make more money, they're a business, that's just how it works. So a really good way to do this is to have another hook at the end of your video saying something like, if you are someone that actually wants to create 10 times more content in the same amount of time with batch creating, I actually created a video like that, and it's gonna be up here on screen if you wanna check it out. Other than that, I hope you had fun in this one. See you in the next one. Bye.